What's up guys, Blitz here. So today we're going to be doing an oil change and a transmission fluid change on the MazdaSpeed 3. So I went ahead and put it on jack stands and got it ready. Well, low car ramps I should say instead of jack stands. So I have it all on stands, ready to go. It's in first so it won't slide forward or anything. I put down a little mat so we don't get oil on anything right here. What we're going to go ahead and start to do first is we're going to unbolt the under tray. I covered this in my other video. There's 6 bolts that go all the way around the tray. As you can see, there's going to be one here, one down there. See if you guys see it. There's going to be 2 here, one down there, and there's going to be a couple other ones up in here. There's going to be 3, and there's going to be 2 more on that side as well. So you'll see them when you get under here. They're pretty obvious, but we're going to go ahead and unbolt those. Alright, so the bolts on the side of the undercarriage panel, you want to use a 10mm, a little bit of a long socket. For the ones that are a little bit deeper in the front, you're going to want an extension for it, otherwise you're not going to reach it. Now we're going to remove the oil cap, and we're going to go down here, and this is the bolt you're looking for, right here on the side of the engine block, right on the bottom of the oil pan. I'm going to let you know what size that is in a second. Let me just go figure it out. Alright, so going back into the car, it is a 17, so we're going to go ahead and loosen it up, and then I put my oil pan so it's ready, put down some cardboard so it doesn't go all over the place, push this back a little bit more. But once you do that, the oil should come out, but just remember you want to remove your oil cap to help with pressure to help it flow better. Alright, so now that we took the plug out, we're just going to let it drain, and once it drains for a little bit, we're going to move to the oil filter. What I like to do is I like to let it drain for a little bit, and I'll put the bolt back on. It is windy out, so things are blowing, so sorry for the audio guys. I like to put the plug back in so more oil can collect, and then when I unplug it again, it'll come out. So I'm going to move to the oil filter next, and we're going to get that one started. If you guys were with me a couple videos ago, we put in an oil catch can right up in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and untwist this one and see how much oil we have collected so far in this. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew this. She's a little tight. I'm not expecting a whole lot because I'm not really always hard on the car, but we definitely got some, that's for sure. See, we got some blow-by caught in there, so our oil catch can is working, keeping that contaminants out of the engine, so that's good. The seal came off. And once you twist the oil filter off, we're gonna let this drain for a little bit. My gasket got stuck. Oh, never mind, it just came off. Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and put the new oil filter on once you let this drain. And then we'll go back to a drain plug, let it drain whatever little bit collected there, and then we'll go ahead and put the new oil in. Alright, so what I use to get rid of the oil filter is this oil filter, I guess ratchet is what it's called. I use that to twist the or oil filter wrench. I'm not really sure what these are called, but I use this to remove the oil filter. So if anyone needs any of these, this is what they look like. I decided to go with the K&N filter over the STP that was originally on the car, just because I prefer the 1-inch nut they can use to remove the filter. So if it's really stuck on there, at least you have more leverage with it. The oil we're going to be using is 5W30. I have a bigger one over there that we're going to put on, or put the rest in. I'm just using this to pre-fill the oil filter a little bit. But what we're going to do now is open this up. And what we're going to do is, if I can get out with one hand, there we go, is we're going to put some oil around the seal here, right here on the outside, all around the whole thing, and pre-fill it just a little bit, and we'll put it on the car. And then once we're done with that, we can go ahead and put the rest of the oil in the vehicle. Just hold it. Alright, now that I have it pre-filled, we're going to go ahead and put it in the car. I know some people are like, you don't need to pre-fill it, you do need to pre-fill it. I don't usually pre-fill, but this is my first turbocharged car and I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious about it. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-fill it. Also, a lot of other vehicles I've worked on have had it sideways, or the oil filter on the side, sideways on the engine, or facing the opposite way, like fully down on the vehicle, so it's been hard to pre-fill. So with this car, I'm just going to go ahead and pre-fill it just to be safe, and since it's my first turbocharged car. I'm not going to fill it all the way on the pre-fill, just a little bit halfway, so just there's more room for everything to circulate. So we're going to go ahead and bolt this onto the vehicle. We're just going to hand tighten it. Doesn't need to be crazy tight. Just like to make sure it's tight enough. You don't want oil to leak out of it. So I'll just hand tighten it. And then the last bit I'll use little pins. Move this over a little bit. Actually, I'm just going to use one hand. Why not? I say she's plenty tight. That's all you need to do. And then she's good to go. We'll go ahead and remove the drain plug again, let some more of this oil drain out. We'll do that real quick. I guess we got most of it out, there's not really much in there. Alright, so what we're going to do is just go ahead and bolten this back up and tighten it down, and we'll just go ahead and fill it with engine oil. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put the oil in the engine. Sorry it's a little bit windy out. It always is for some reason when I want to film, even though it never ever is windy other times. I forgot to film it, I kind of got carried away, but I put a funnel in, dumped the oil in, just 5W30. I prefer Valvoline, that's my opinion. I know people have other stuff. I might go to a thicker oil later down the road, but since this is stock and I haven't really done anything, I'm just going to keep it 5W30 since that's what the book recommends. I went ahead and put the old oil in the previous oil's quart bottles. So what we're going to do now is move over to the transmission fluid, since I want to change that too, since the car's already jacked up and ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and move to the transmission fluid. Alright, so we're going to put the oil cap back on right here. I'm going to slide in here, and then we'll twist it shut. Just like that. Again, these cars just take 508/30 from the factory. I know some people like to put different oil in, but considering I haven't really done anything to my car yet, besides EGR delete, we're just going to go ahead and keep the OEM oil. But there are some mods I have coming. Before any of that, I want to get my high pressure fuel pump in. But until that gets in here, I'm not going to do any other mods, just so it has the proper fueling, so it can fuel all the extra air going into the engine. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get started on the transmission. So for the transmission, this is what we're going to use differently from the engine oil. Engine oil, again, is 5W30 Valvoline. I just put high mileage in. This we're using Redline MTL. This is basically 75W80, which is what I prefer. This is what these transmissions prefer in here. The 90s can cause some grinding from what I heard from people, so I'm just going to put 80 in. This is basically like the cocktail of the secret sauce of the transmission that a lot of people like to put in is Redline. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the car. We're going to need, so I went ahead and got a 4-pack. It was cheaper that way than just buying 3 separate ones of these. So the car's only going to really need 2.5, so I'm just going to have the extra one just in case, or if I ever need it. But we're going to go ahead and put these in. So before we get started, I'm just going to reuse my oil pan. Might as well, just all oil at the end of the day. We're going to have to use the drain plug, which is right over here. Let they get that off. But before we get the drain plug off, we want to make sure our level plug is off first, since if this is stuck, we're not going to be able to fill that up. So always start with your transmission level plug first. Alright guys, so what I went ahead and did is I removed or loosened up the level plug. The drain plug is the same size. It is, I use 15/16 in this cylinder really well, no issues. So I believe 24 in metric, but 15/16 seemed to fit that the best in my opinion. It was snug on there, no issues. But I'm going to go ahead and take this out, and then we're going to move over to the fill plug. Again, try to make the car as level as you can. You don't want to underfill or overfill the transmission. So again, to help get the big bolts off, I just did a 15/16. I don't know how well you can see that. I did 15/16 and I used a breaker bar. So simple and easy. We're just going to tighten it with the breaker bar as well. Might as well. But if you need help, that's what I used. Some people say 24, but I think 15/16 was pretty snug on there. Did not feel like it was coming off. So I would recommend the 15/16. I expected some to come out, but Alright, she's definitely gonna need some transmission fluid changes for sure. Pivot shaft was leaking, but it got covered under warranty at the dealership, so I'm guessing I lost some transmission fluid. So we're gonna go ahead and drain the transmission fluid now. Again, try to make it mostly level. I am slightly at an angle. It's not a bad angle, but try to make it as level as possible. This is as best as I can do. Alright, so I went ahead and loosened the back bolt too, right here. So we're just gonna go ahead and spin that one off. We move more of this cardboard. I don't have to worry about it going everywhere. I'm just gonna loosen it up. Move this over a little bit more. Quite a bit should come out. There we go. Now it's dyed green because it's a fluids green because they dyed it at the dealership trying to locate the transmission leak that I kept pointing out to them. That something was leaking because I was getting transmission fluid down the right side of my passenger side. So the dealership dyed it green to see what the leak was when we found it. So that's why my transmission fluid is green. Yours will probably be more like a brownish or reddish color. I don't know if my transmission fluid's ever been changed from any of the previous owners or at any dealership, so I just want to go ahead and change mine just to be on the safe side, since my engine oil is looking a little dark for recently purchasing the vehicle as well, so I might as well do the transmission fluid as well. What we're going to do now is just let this drain out, and then we'll get ready to pump the new transmission fluid in. This is what we're going to be using to pump the transmission fluid in. It's a cheap little pump off Amazon. I'm sure there's way better stuff out there, but this is what works for what I have. So we're just gonna go ahead and push down on this. We're gonna have to hold it tight a little bit, and this should be able to put the fluid in the transmission that we need. I was gonna say there's no way that's fun. Alright guys, so I went ahead and bolted up everything. For the level bolt, I just went ahead and kept pumping it, filling it up, and then when it started dripping out just a little bit, I let it drain just a tad because I ended up overfilling it, and then I went ahead and bolted it back up. So the second it starts dripping out, go ahead and stop and put the bolt back in because you're at level. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bolt everything back up, put the tray back on. We got the new filter, we got the oil plug in, so we're all good to go, and we're going to see how she feels. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm thinking about doing a Q&A on like rotary cars and how it's like owning an RX-8, so if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.